Well, good Thursday morning, New Heart Church family. Pastor Matt with you on this Thursday, the 10th day of March. Um, I know I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore Thursday. Actually, it's not the same shirt. I have two of these shirts, and I rotate them in and out of the laundry. And so this is the one I was choosing to wear today. I didn't even realize until I was looking back at some stuff that I wore the same shirt on Tuesday. So it's just coincidental, but it's currently 8:56 a.m. Temperature is, let's see here, I have temperature 43 degrees, and it's rainy outside. So, this is actually Thursday morning. Let me ask you a question. How many times have we, upon witnessing a colleague or a friend's response to a situation, thought quietly to ourselves of the myriad ways in which we would have responded differently or played out what we would have done in his or her place, thinking, I could have done that differently than they did, or I could have done that better than they did. Yeah, we all play that what if game, don't we? The story of the transfiguration of Jesus is really quite remarkable because it invites us to consider what we would do if we had been Peter, James, and John that morning. Think about that. Jesus has been followed by a whole crowd of people, of which Peter, James, and John and the rest of the disciples were involved. And he calls them away and he says, let's go up to the mountain to pray. And when he gets on the mountaintop and begins to pray, suddenly something amazing happens. He is clothed in dazzling white. That means that there's a bright light probably all the way around. And he's conversing there on that mountaintop with Moses and with Elijah. Just think, if you were Peter, James, or John, what would you have done? Then, imagine this. All of a sudden, they are encompassed by a cloud, and they hear the voice of God once again that perhaps John heard at Jesus' baptism, but they hear the voice of God saying, this is my beloved son, Jesus. Do what he says you to do. What would you do? We might have gotten very prideful about the fact that, all of a sudden we've been privileged to experience something that no one else ever has. And we might have, as the old saying goes, broken our arm patting ourselves on the back. Or maybe we would have been impelled to immediately go out and start sharing the good news with people. Or we might have fallen silent, been afraid, and not be willing to tell anyone what we had seen for fear that they might think that we were losing our mind. It's tempting to believe that we would have responded differently or differently or better than the disciples did. However, very much like them, we probably would have needed some time to consider what we had seen and heard. But the truth is that while we don't often find ourselves encompassed by a cloud, or hearing the direct voice of God coming out of that crowd, the Holy Spirit, God the Holy Spirit, does continue to speak to us regularly, telling us to listen to what Jesus said and to model the behavior that he showed for us. Our interaction with friends and family and colleagues and the natural world all offer us glimpses of God's grace. Indeed, any of those things can be evidences of God's communicating with and through us. So are we using that grace, that communication of God, to discern how God's life might be shown through us? Are we making ourselves vulnerable, stepping out of our comfort zones and stepping into the light? Are we practicing the kind of humility modeled for us by Jesus himself, who, though Peter suggested it be done, refused the suggestion that temples of honor and worship be built on that mountain for the three of those who were there? Or is it safer and easier to close ourselves off and remain in the silence of darkness? We know that eventually the disciples came down from that mountain, probably forever transformed by that amazing encounter. Maybe we should ask in our own lives and recognize perhaps that we have been transformed by the encounter we have with Jesus, and that we are called down from that mountain to serve as conduits of God's grace to those we meet. In our relationships, are there ways that we might better accompany our friends as they too seek to step out of the darkness into the light? Mac Davis had a big hit song in the 70s entitled, "Oh Lord, It's Hard to Be Humble When You're Perfect in Every Way. Can't wait to look in the mirror because I get better looking each day." Well, I doubt most of us think that we are perfect or getting better looking, but we must admit it is hard to be humble. But that's part of what the Lenten season is all about. A call to humility, a call to admit our imperfections, to share our vulnerability, and to help others all step out of their comfort zones along with us into the light of Christ, to be the light of Christ in a dark world and to all of its dark places. Whether we need time to consider or are ready to respond, whether we're seeking care or offering it, the voice of God does call each of us to bear witness to his beloved Son, to hear him, to obey him, and to live as he taught us to. So let me ask you, how is God speaking to you today, and how will you respond? Don't forget to join us Sunday morning for Zoom Sunday School class. You can send us emails at newheartnazarene@gmail.com. We'll be more than happy to send you an invitation for that Zoom link for Sunday School. We'll be on YouTube for our morning worship service at 10:45. We invite you to find us there at New Heart Church of the Nazarene, both YouTube and on Facebook here and all these places, and our Nazarene Connect app. All of it's available to you for no charge, and we trust you will participate and join in with us virtually if you cannot join us in the building. But you are welcome in the building as well, and 9:45 a.m. for Sunday School, 10:45 for morning worship. God bless you. We hope you will join us if you can. Have a great day today. Stay warm, stay dry, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Take care, everybody. Bye.